Tenemos el gran honor de tener con nosotros hoy a Tom Quayle aquí. Es great pleasure.
Thank you.
Great honor. Si no lo conocéis, id rápidamente a echar un vistazo a las redes sociales, a YouTube, donde vais a encontrar todos sus vídeos. Y hemos venido hoy para hablar de sus pedales, de su pedal y de Martin Miller, que no ha podido estar con nosotros hoy por un tema de logística, pero nos va a explicar un poquito cómo funciona el pedal Lionheart de Tom Quayle. Y nada, vamos a ello. So we're gonna start talking about your new pedal, Tom Quayle from Laney. Can you explain to us how it works?
Basically, I've been playing the Lionheart tube amps for about 9-10 years now.
Okay.
And they're amazing, but obviously just like all tube amps, they're very heavy. They're crazy loud, you know, they're not something you can fly with. So about 2 years ago, the guys from Laney released the original Loudpedal, which was smaller than these. And it was based on the Ironheart amplifier.
Okay.
So it was based on kind of like a modern metal kind of sound. And I thought it was great, but it's not my sound. So I said to the guys, it would be cool if they built a Lionheart version. So for guys who don't know, the Lionheart amp is Laney's kind of boutique sounding, clean pedal platform amplifier.
It's a classic, yeah.
It's a classic, exactly. Used by lots of artists all over the world, and I've been using that amp, as I say, for about 10 years. So this is a made in the UK, very high quality unit, 60 watt, all analog amplifier. So it's solid state, it's not tubes, but we collaborated together to make this sound as close to the original Lionheart as possible. So as someone who's been playing a Lionheart for sort of 10 years, my ears are kind of attuned to that amplifier.
So you know very well the original one.
Yeah, the sound and the feel of it. Okay. And Laney have a history of making solid state power sections that sound amazing and feel amazing. So they've paired that with the solid state preamp section, and this is the result. It looks like the original amplifier. It's got the same colors. Same with the Ironheart, Martin's version, same concept, make it sound and feel as close to the original amplifier as possible, but without the weight and the kind of bulk and size of a tube amp. So I can fly with this now. I have a pedal board behind me with it on. That's it, that's the entire rig. Just plug that into either, you know, using an XLR out that we've got here into a full range system, or using the passive cab output into a standard guitar cab, and it's loud as hell. It's crazy loud. So you can use it with a drummer, whatever, you know.
One of the things that I loved when I saw the first time is that it's exactly, you see and you can see the amplifier, the original amplifier. The knobs, everything. But it has a little bit more than the original.
On the original amplifier, you've got two channels, but they're very much kind of dedicated to specific sounds. So the channel 1 is a clean channel. You can't get drive out of that channel unless you absolutely crank the volume. Channel 2 is more of a kind of overdrive, vintage overdrive, which this is too. But in this case, it's more flexible. Channel 1 and channel 2 are identical. They both have these bright switches on. So you can set them up in any configuration you want.
Then you can change it with the...
So this foot switch here just changes between the channels. But what you have on that you didn't have on the original amplifier is a boost here. So this is a pre-gain boost, and you can get a lot more overdrive out of this than the original amplifier, which didn't have a boost on there. So it actually gets into almost kind of saturated lead territory as well. But again, if you want it as a clean pedal platform, which is what I do, just run an overdrive pedal in the front. It's got clean all the way up. It's got loads of headroom on it, so that's really cool. And it's got the same 3-band EQ from the original amp. We've got the tone control that was from the original amp that basically shaped the sound and also changed the feel. So when you roll it back, it's darker and less compressed. More compressed. When you roll it up, it gets less compressed and brighter. And that's it. It's absolutely awesome. Switchable reverb, switchable boost. Really, really well made, very cool. Same with Martin's pedal, super well made and all the same features as the original amplifier, but much, much smaller, much more portable. No heat, it's not like crazy hot, no tubes to change. So for guys who want something very portable and lightweight that doesn't compromise on sound and is not digital, a lot of people don't like the feel and sound of digital, especially through a full range system. This really fits the bill beautifully for that.
You feel it like you're playing a real amp?
Absolutely, it responds in exactly the same way. The feel, the sound is exactly the same,
I saw that also you have the FX loop. If you want to connect, as you say before, with your stone boxes and everything. If you want to, we can try a little bit each channel and show us how it works, how it sounds.
Okay. So I'm on channel 1 at the moment. I've got it set up for a clean sound. I'm using we're recording via the impulse response. So on the neck pickup, it's very dynamic. So you've got this. the volume down.
Dynamics are...
It's crazy. So you can hear it, as I dig in, it's slightly breaking up. You've got more harmonics as you would get from a real tube amp, so nice and light. You can hear all the harmonics and the ring and the kind of the sustain as well.
Sounds beautiful.
Great, so that's channel 1. And again, if you push that, you could get more drive out of it. But I'll show you the bright switch really quick. So here's the middle position. Now in the upper. So that's super useful. On the Lionheart, channel 2, as I say, was always kind of like an overdrive channel. Now you can set that up this way. So if I switch to channel 2, I've got the gain higher, the volume down, because it's insanely loud. Go to the bridge pickup, now we're on a crunch tone, again, in the middle position. So that's like the original amp. When you crank the gain, it was kind of like crunchy, but not modern gain. But now if you engage the boost, so you're into more saturated territory, but it's very much a more vintage sound. It's not got that kind of scooped vibe that you get with, say, the Ironheart. But if you want that kind of thing, if you pull out the mids, pull the tone back, and increase the bass and treble a little bit. So it's available to you if you want it, much more versatile than the original amplifier. So that's the range of tone you can get from this one. I guess we can check out the Ironheart as well. Very similar setup, but you've got 2 distinct channels here. Channel 1 has some asymmetrical clipping on, so I don't know if you want to play and I'll have a fiddle. So you can hear the difference there between the symmetrical and asymmetrical clipping. And then there's just a standard mode in the middle. But channel 2 is where all of the kind of crazy gain happens. And then again, you can stick the boost on the front of that. So gain for days, as much as you would ever want, and again, versatility that you had from the original amp. But again, guys are listening to the IRs here. If you plug it through a passive cab, it's a different sound again, but you've got a lot of versatility. One thing I should say for the guys out there who think, okay, what are you getting from the XLR outs in terms of the impulse responses? You can stick your own impulse responses on there. So you use the app, it's called the Layer app, and you can put 2 impulse responses on there and switch using the switch on the back. If you want to record, there's also a USB out on there that works as an audio interface. So you can actually just use this in the studio as a recording, audio interface to record your guitars with.
You can record directly with the
absolutely.
pedal. And it comes with a USB-C cable.
Absolutely. So that's really useful in that regard. And there's a auxiliary in for playing backing tracks or whatever, and a headphone output as well. And the headphone out sounds great. So if you're somebody who also wants your amp to double, people buy practice amps. You don't need to with this. This functions as a silent practice amp as well. Just plug the headphones in the back with the impulse response and they sound great. And because there's very, very, very low latency from the XLR output, it feels like, you're playing through a tube amp there as well, which is awesome.
we can connect to TI. We can connect with headphones and also on a cabinet.
Yep,
that
absolutely.
You say that sounds very loud.
With a passive cab on here, I use a Laney 2x12 cab, and I've been playing in Nashville a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
It's loud enough for any gig. Doesn't matter how loud the drummer is, it's more than loud enough.
Okay.
And there's lots of clean headroom, so it's,
So you
awesome
go with
solution.
the guitar, your stompbox, and that's it.
Exactly.
You don't need anything else.
Nope.
Esto ha sido la demo con Tom de su pedal y del de Martin, que bueno, no ha podido estar, así que os tenéis que conformar conmigo. Pero bueno, nada, deciros que son unos pedales increíbles, suenan muy bien, son súper útiles y os esperamos para que vengáis aquí a probarlos, y si tenéis cualquier duda, lo ponéis en nuestros comentarios como siempre, o pasáis por aquí por la tienda y os atenderemos gustosamente. Thank you, Tom, for being here, for making the demo, and nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
A pleasure for me.
Thank you. Thank you. Adios, amigos.